Hey YouTube. So I'm gonna try to make this one kind of short because I actually don't have that much to say about Inside Llewyn Davis. Um, so funny story about this movie. This is not this I haven't even heard of this movie before the day I went to see it. Like my friend sent me a message on Facebook saying that she wanted people to go to this free screening. So I was just like, okay, it's a free movie, so I'll go see it. And the movie was obviously Inside Llewyn Davis, and I've heard, and when I was there, the guy who played the guy who it wasn't the guy who played Llewyn, it was I think the guy who made well, two people from the movie came to the screening. Like I don't remember who it was. I think the girl who played the main female character. I forgot her name. Hang on. Hang on for a second. I'm on my laptop, so I'm gonna look up the the Wikipedia. I'm sorry. Yeah, Carrie Mulligan. I think she came to the screening. I don't really remember, but anyways, I saw this at a screening and had no idea what this movie was. But I know who the Coen brothers are. So True Grit, No Country for Old Men. So I don't know what I didn't really know what to expect. Like all I knew at the time was it was a movie that was about a a folk singer during the 60s. So I was kind of thinking, oh, is it kind of like the rise of like the lowly like independent musician into like a great someone like Bob Dylan, but uh the movie was interesting. I'm not so sure if I could do. I usually do short review, long review, but I feel like I have to skip the short review, go into the long review, because this movie is very interesting. Like, let me just run through my pros and cons real quick. Pros are okay. This is obviously the most obvious pro, but the music was very good. Like I don't really listen. I listen to all kinds of music, but I don't really listen to folk. But I like folk, and I don't know this movie made me fall in love with folk. It was just so the soundtrack was really really good, and I feel like this is the kind of soundtrack that I usually don't buy movie soundtracks, but I feel like this is the kind of movie that I would buy the soundtrack. I don't know the soundtrack was just really really fun to watch listen to, and also since this movie was based around a folk singer, a lot of the music it wasn't just like music playing. There was like a lot of the scenes had a specific reason why the song's playing. Like, um, my friend who invited me to the movie, she told me we were having a discussion about the movie, and she actually brought up a good point that um, the that the main character Llewyn, he's a struggling musician, and he's kind of disillusioned because he's constantly failing, and he was part of a duo, and the other half of the duo died. So she brought up a good point that um, even though he's like disillusioned with the people around him, and he might seem fake, you see his real like soul when he's playing, and that actually makes a lot of sense, seeing as how the actor they hired to play Llewyn is actually a musician himself. So you see a lot of his like actual emotions when he's playing music, as opposed to him actually, in real life in the movie. So the music is very pivotal. It's not just there, to sound pretty. It actually helped the plot. Like it showed moments where he where he was actually feeling sad, or like it revealed like deep seated like sadness at like his partner's death. And you see also there's this really sad part of the movie where he was auditioning for this record label, and you could tell he was giving his all. Like, and he's the kind of character he was at this point was that he was kind of defeatist. So when he was trying to audition, you could honestly tell he was giving it all in his performance. And I don't know, I didn't really notice that in the movie at first, but until we had the discussion that now I notice that the music really did play a huge role in this movie. And I mean, the movie is about, an independent musician, so obviously it, yeah, you get my point. Any other pros, I mean, besides the music, so I recommend buying the soundtrack. But anyways, the acting was also pretty good. And, oh, okay. Well, maybe the Carey Mulligan, who played the lead female character, she was kind of screaming at some points. Like she was supposed to be like the angry ex-girlfriend, but I felt like at some point she was just like being unreasonably angry. And the actor playing Llewyn himself, he could be kind of dry, but the acting was okay, pretty much. I don't know. I didn't expect to see Justin Timberlake in this movie. I thought I would hate him the most in this movie, but he was actually pretty good, I guess. And like he played a pretty likable character, and also helped the fact that Justin Timberlake is a musician, a singer, and he's in this kind of movie. It's you know, he came out pretty strong in this. And my other pro is Llewyn's journey is interesting. Like as like what the Coen brothers said already, there is no plot to this movie. It's just we're following this musician and we're seeing his journey and seeing the ups and downs, and it's just you see the tragedies affect him, but the movie is pretty much plotless. Like you're just watching him trying to achieve fame, trying to like live by day, and it's interesting, I guess. Like I could pull off a few highlights, like things I like. A lot of people, especially people who saw this at I forgot the name of the film festival, but Cannes. But there was a lot of talk about the cat in this movie. That there's this cat that follows Llewyn around, and it's just I know one of the Coen brothers said that they threw the cat in there because they noticed that the movie was plotless, so they needed something to make the move to connect the movie together, and they threw the cat in, and it was kind of just like Llewyn chasing after the cat, taking care of it, and it kind of I guess it represented like I'm not so sure what the cat represented. Maybe it represented like him constantly chasing that dream of his that he's trying to become a famous musician, but he's constantly failing. And the same with the cat, he's constantly trying to catch it, but it keeps going away, and he keeps coming up at certain parts of his journey. It's just I don't know. You can interpret the cat as you will. That's how I interpret it, and the cat really is like the only thing that's like consistent through the entire movie because people come and go in Llewyn's life. Like the first part of the movie, it's kind of like the Justin Timberlake ex-girlfriend arc. Then the middle is like this arc with he's like it's like a road trip kind of arc, and then like the movie's like split up kind of like that. The movie doesn't really build up to anything. You're just watching this guy's journey. I guess that could also be a con. That's actually a con for me. That half a pro, half a con, because the fact that it's pointless is that it kind of kills it because it's building up to nothing. All right, like I'm not even joking when I say you feel like this movie this movie is one of those traditional redemption stories. Like oh he's gonna like uh get his happy ending at the end because the movie's throwing all these bad things at Llewyn, the main character, in the beginning. But you notice that his life is just not getting any better. Like, and when the movie ends, he kind of didn't go anywhere. Like, he's still kind of like the same at the end of the movie. And I know, I guess that's kind of the point of Inside Llewyn Davis that this guy's life is depressing and tragic, and some people don't get their happy endings. But at the same time, it's like you're throwing so much stuff at this guy that you kind of just want him to kind of succeed at the end. Like, okay, he was kind of an asshole. This movie, like the movie kind of established that, but I don't know. Like the fact that the movie builds up to nothing, I felt kind of I'm not gonna say ripped off, but I was kind of disappointed that. the whole journey was kind of pointless. But I guess the whole movie was supposed to be pointless, but I don't really like that, I guess. I want my movies to lead up to something, but it doesn't mean the movie wasn't entertaining. It's just there's no build up. Or not build up. Um there was no payoff to any of this. And also the focus on the cat, even though it kept the movie together, they could have chosen like a person. Why did it have to be a cat? Like the having it be a cat was just kind of it, it kind of made the movie a little cartoonish for me, but I guess it was cute, I guess. So that's Inside Llewyn Davis for me. I mean, music was good, acting was good, the journey was good, uh, but overall, it didn't lead to anywhere. So it doesn't feel like I didn't feel like I watched something worthwhile, I guess. Like it was just like one of those movies that I will only watch once, and that's it. Because it didn't make me feel anything at the end. It just made me feel like, oh, okay, that was the journey. So yeah, not one of my favorites of the year, but I could see why people like this movie. It's I guess it's not my kind of movie. I mean, even though I kind of liked it, I guess I didn't like it as much as a lot of people, other people did. Like, I'm curious what to hear what people have to say about it. That's my review of Inside Llewyn Davis. It was good, I guess, but it's definitely not one of it's definitely not a favorite of mine. All right.